Om Boa Bhuva Suvaha. Om Boa Bhuva Suvaha. Tat Savitur Varanyam. Tat Savitur Varanyam. Vago Devasya Dhimahi. Vago Devasya Dhimahi. Diyo yo not prachodayata. Diyo yo not prachodayata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Bring your hands in Anjali Mudra. Bow your head. Offer your practice today to someone you love. Human being, animal being, nature being. Bring them into your mind's eye and visualize them. Then offer your practice to them. Namaste. Today is supine sequence. Supine sequence is quite long. It consists of basically supine. It means laying on your back and moving your arms and legs around, basically. So there's about 30 postures in the actually laying on your back bit. And then it goes straight into shoulder stand. So supine is considered to be preparation for shoulder stand. And there's about another 25 variations of shoulder stand. So obviously we are not going to be doing all this tonight because we'll be here till midnight. But I will give you a sample of the sutta and then we'll do some shoulder stand and variations as well. And I thought today I'd read a little bit from this book. This is not so much a teacher, this is a student of Ramaswamy and of the Krishnamacharya lineage. And just in the Krishnamacharya world, we just call him Grimly, that's his nickname. And he's produced this, he's got an amazing website actually, which is full of all the information about Krishnamacharya, and it used to be called Grimly's Blogspot. And then it changes it very regularly, so it's very confusing. It's a job to keep up. But I think you'll find it under vinyasakrama.com. And in there you'll find a real treasure trove of information and historical information and practices and all stuff about Krishnamacharya yoga. But he is also, like me, a direct student of Ramaswamy. This book is a whole book where he goes through all the different Vinyasa sequences with all photographs and descriptions and information and quotes from Ramaswamy, etc., about this particular practice. Some of it's really interesting. But originally, I remember when he originally did all this, it was all done and posted on Instagram and on his website. It was all little videos of him every morning getting up and doing his practice. And he would post a video of him doing the practice and say, this morning I did half of Supta Vinyasa, and then I did Sarvangasana, Akunchasana, and then I did this and I did that, and that was my practice. And there's a little video of it. But he's deleted all that. All that's gone now. So you've just got these still images. And he's got an Instagram which is called Reemergence of Yoga. And on there, he gives sample practices of Vinyasa Krama, and also he's a student of Shribashram's practice. Some of you have done Shribashram yoga with me as well, who is Krishnamacharya's younger son. He also has practice sequences on there from the Shribashram style. Yeah, it's really interesting. Anyway, this is him. And he does a little commentary at the end of each series, or a little write-up of some things to think about the series. Ramaswamy recommends we spend 5 minutes in Sarvangasana, shoulder stands. The first 3 minutes with the legs relaxed, and the next 2 with the legs straight. So that half shoulder stand we do with the legs slightly bent, 3 minutes, and then go straight for 2 minutes before practicing the shoulder stand vinyasas. So Just being inverted, getting the breath, being relaxed, 3 minutes. Going into a more vertical position, being still, 2 minutes. Then as many vinyasas in shoulder stand as you feel inclined to do or you have time for, which can be 25 vinyasas, which can take you 35, 40 minutes. So you'd be in shoulder stand for a long time. That's the idea. Doing the variations helps you stay in the posture for longer. Ramaswamy would also recommend the counter pose after shoulder stand so as to relieve the strain placed on the neck and the shoulders. He suggests Bhujangasana, cobra, and especially Makrasana, which is crocodile with the forearms on the floor, as ideal counter poses, stating that the counter poses as a rule should be as simple as possible, effective and targeted. So Ramaswamy, in this lineage, they don't tend to use Matsyasana fish pose as a standard counter pose for shoulder stand. It's more involved, more complicated than doing cobra or crocodile. So they recommend simpler posture to counterpose the neck. But Matsyasana is also fine if you're comfortable with it. Supine series, which we're going to do in a minute, used to be my least favorite sequence when I first started practicing Vinyasa Krama. It's a long sequence, and I was never sure what approach to take. It took quite some time to realize it was, if anything, the perfect sequence. Forward bends, twists, back bends, inversions, leg behind the head postures, lotus. It has everything. And this is true. It does. And the thing about it is, although all those, leg behind the head and the lotus postures aren't available to everyone, everything else in the supine sequence is quite easy. It's all really doable. And so it's a really good practice to do when you're tired. It's a good practice to do if you've been on your feet a lot. It's a good practice to do if you've been doing a lot of physical work and you're physically tired. It's a good practice to do when you've been unwell. It's a good practice to do if you're recuperating. It's a good practice to do if you generally find the practice too much of a challenge. It's a good practice for old people, etc. That said, because of its length, I do not tend to practice it as a standalone sequence. I do, however, practice most of its sequences regularly. So you wouldn't normally through the whole thing unless you're studying with Ramaswamy or like we're trying to do to some extent now, this whole sequence thing. You wouldn't normally do that. You'd pick certain vinyasas out of the sequence and use them in your daily practice. Now, the first practice in this is Tataka Mudra pond gesture, the mudra where the belly is sucked in, you're laying on your back. I practice Tataka Mudra as preparation for deep forward bends, like Paschimottanasana, sit double-legged forward bend, as well as a counter pose for back bends, pressing the lower back into the mat while engaging the bandhas. So that brings up two things. Why would it be good to do Tataka Mudra before Paschimottanasana, forward, strong, full forward bend, is because the work on the bandhas is then transferred and the deep, long exhales and holding the breath out is transferred to Paschimottanasana. And so that helps to deepen your experience of forward bending and it helps you to control the breath. Ideally in Paschimottanasana, you're holding the breath out for up to 5 seconds with bandhas at the end of each exhale. And then he says there's a counter pose for back bends. And the reason is, in a lot of these sukta sequence, you're really drawing your lower back deeply into the floor. So the back becomes very stable and it releases a lot of tension in the back. I practice Apanasana, the pelvic floor poses, for the same reasons, which is laying on the back, bending the knees and hugging the knees to the chest, one knee at a time or both knees together. In advanced back bending, I've realized the importance of pushing the hips forward as far as possible and tucking under the tailbone. Dvipadipittam desk pose, which most of you will be more familiar with the term Setu Bandhasana bridge, is perfect for working on this and an ideal preparation for Urdhva Dhanurasana, full wheel, and more intense back bends. So what he's talking about is like when you're in a back bend, is what tends to happen when you lift up into a back bend is like he's asking you get an arch in your lower back here and it compresses the spine a bit. What he's saying is shoot the tailbone that way, tuck the tailbone under so it lengthens the spine. And so as you lift up, there's more space in the spine. You don't let the sit bone, you don't sort of like create the lumbar curve. You tuck the tailbone under to lengthen the lower back when you push into a back bend. And that is really easily done when you're doing supported bridges. So you can work on it. And the way that you get it to stay is to push the tailbone forward, tilt the pelvis anteriorly, and then engage Mula Bandha really strongly. And what it does is it stabilizes the pelvis in that position. So when you push into a deep back bend, you don't get compression in your lumbar vertebrae and any feeling of discomfort in the lower back, which is a very common thing in things like Ustrasana, camel pose, and in Urdhva Dhanurasana or Chakrasana, full wheel. A lot of people feel a lot of intense pressure in the lower back when they do that, and it's because the nutation of the pelvis hasn't been developed. Also, sometimes it can be to do to weak quadriceps, where you're just pushing up with flexibility and not controlling the spine by using the front of the body. It has some of the best twisting postures in yoga with Jata Parivriti belly twist. So laying on the back and bringing the legs to the side across the body, blah, blah, blah. It also has some of the best leg behind the head preparation that I've ever come across, because in this, you pull it up and you're putting the leg behind the head in a very stable position and laying on the floor, as well as an excellent preparatory subroutine for shoulder stand. So some of these postures, and the most important ones, are preparation for shoulder stand. And we won't be doing it in this class because we're going through the whole thing, but normally when you're doing a normal practice, Ramaswamy always recommends before you do your actual shoulder stand, you start off by doing the posture where you bend the knees in, Apanasana, towards the chest, keeping the head on the floor, stretching the back of the neck. And then you do the next posture, bridge pose, with the feet on the floor, and you lift the hips up, moving the sternum towards the chin, like you do in shoulder stand. And then you stretch both the arms and the legs up, and you hold it. So you're stretching out of the shoulder and the hip joints, and you're really flattening your back into the floor with bandhas to just lengthen the spine and work on the shoulder and hip joints. And then you can also drop back halfway and hold that to work on the core strength and the stability in the core, in the Uddiyana Bandha. And then you come down, you go into your shoulder stand. And all those postures are a big part of the sequence. I think that's enough. Do you enjoy going into the weeds? Stand up. For me, it's important to understand that it's not just breathing and moving. It's not just asana. It's structured and it has a purpose. And the meaning of vinyasa is conscious placement and movement that leads one to a particular goal. Standing Tadasana, chest up, chin down, shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, gaze into the heart, Ujjayi breathing. 3 breaths. Feel the breath in the heart, feel the gaze in the heart. Center of the chest, just in front of your spine. On the next inhale, raise the arms over the head, interlock your fingers. And as you lift up, pause, push the feet down and lift out of your hips. Keep the length in the lower back as you bring the thumbs to the back of your neck. Keep the palms up and the elbows back. Go to the end of the breath, hold the breath out. Lift the chest. Inhale, push the hands to the ceiling. Feel the lift coming from the inseams of the feet. And keep the length in the spine as you exhale and lower your arms. Lead and return sequence. Inhale, bring the arms wide and overhead, flip your palms. Exhale, palms face forward. Inhale, arch from the upper back. Exhale, fold all the way. Short inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana, round the back, heels may rise, forehead towards the knees. Short inhale, hold the breath. Step or hop back, lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, chin down. Exhale, downward facing dog. There's 3 breaths in down dog. Spread your fingers wide, feet together if you can. Shorter inhales, double the length of the exhale. Optional at the end of each exhale, hold the breath out, chin on the chest, perineum lifts, lower abdomen in and up, bandha. Start with bandhas for a second or 2, eventually 5 seconds bandhas. When you've finished your 3 breaths, hop or step forward, Utkatasana again, squat down. Separate the knees, sit down. Dandasana, legs straight, hands beside the hips. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, don't move. Inhale, round the back, 1 vertebra at a time. Core strong, legs strong, lower down. Exhale, hands beside your hips. First posture in the sequence is Tataka Mudra, pond gesture. Close your eyes, turn your gaze down, look navel, nabby. Inhale, arms over the head, flip your palms. Flex both feet, draw your lower back into the floor. Interlock the fingers, push the palms away. Short inhale there. And a long exhale. Look navel. Go to the end of the breath, hold the breath out. Draw the navel back towards the spine and up towards your heart. Relax your tongue, your mouth, your eyes, and your forehead. Inhale, bring the hands up over your face, change the interlock of your fingers. Keep the feet flexed, keep the gaze in the navel. Exhale, hands over the head. Long exhale as the arms come down. Keep exhaling a little more as you stretch. Hold the breath out. Belly in. Relax the soft palate and the upper palate and the eyes. Ponds in the mouth as well as the belly. And then inhale, bring the hands up and over your head. Keep the chin down as much as you can. Exhale, change the interlock of the fingers. Exhale, lower the hands. And do the last one in your own time. Hold the exhale and bandhas for as long as you comfortably can without strain. Feel the diaphragm just floating up and putting a little bit of pressure on your heart. And when you're ready, the hands go up over the face, and then the hands go beside the hips, and the legs stay together. Supdasana, palms down close to the body. And inhale, bring the arms up and over the head again. And as you exhale, interlock the fingers. And as you exhale, walk the feet over to the right as far as you can. And keep the legs together and the feet together. Good. And then inhale there. Long exhale. Flex the feet slightly. You're going to do the Pond Mudra again. When you get to the end of the breath, bandhas. Keep the arms over the head this time. Release bandhas, inhale. Long exhale. Really open the left side. End of the breath. Pause, bandhas. Look navel, soft palate, upper palate released. And then when you're ready, release bandhas. Inhale, walk the feet back to center. Exhale, bring the hands beside the hips. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, bring the arms over the head. Lock the fingers. Exhale, walk the feet as far as you can to the left. You can take little steps or one big movement and bring the legs together. And then do 2 Tataka Mudra on that side. Short inhales, long exhales. Keep the gaze down and behind the belly. It will help to deepen the effect of the bandha. Keep the face relaxed. And if you relax the abdominal muscles after you've drawn them in, you'll feel that the natural vacuum you've created will suck the diaphragm up to the heart. Don't worry if you feel pressure on the heart. This is good for the internal organs. When you're done, come back to center. And inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands beside your waist. Close your eyes. Switch off Ujjayi breathing. Bring your legs straight now. So you're lying straight, Rory. Yeah. Look in the heart with the eyes closed. Switch off Ujjayi. Inhale, bring both hands over the head. Exhale, bend the right knee. Hug the knee down to the chest. Inhale, release the knee, bring the arms over the head and the foot back to the floor. So the legs are together, feet are together. Exhale, bend the knee, hug the knee. Go right to the end of the breath, squeeze the knee down, push it through the ball of the left foot. And inhale, straighten the leg, bring the arms over the head again. Third vinyasa. Exhale, same thing. This time we're going to hold for a breath. You're going to hold all these postures for 3 to 6 breaths, but we're going to try and get through a lot of the vinyasas, so we're not going to hold for so long. So short inhale, it's a long exhale. End of the exhale, look navel, bandhas. Particularly the anal sphincter here, Ashwini Mudra. And then inhale, interlock the fingers, arms over the head, foot back to the floor. Just extend the foot forward, and you want to try and stretch a little bit every time. And then the left side, exhale, bend the left knee, and hug the knee down. Inhale, extend, arms over the head. Exhale, bend. Ujjayi breathing. Do that one more time. At the end of the breath next time, I'm going to hold for a full breath with bandhas at the end. Keep nice and calm and totally focused in your breath. Hug that left knee down, get to the end of the breath, pause the breath, bandhas. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms over the head, extend the leg. Good. Bring the leg back to the floor when you're ready. And exhale, bring the hands beside your waist. Inhale, bring the arms over your head. Exhale, bend both knees. Grip the knees as much as you can. If you can, hold your elbows or your forearms or your wrists. And you can lift the head when you take the grip, but keep your head on the floor as you squeeze the knees down. And then inhale, extend both legs forward, bring the arms over your head, flip your palms. You can keep the feet quite close to the floor, so you're just shooting the feet backwards and forwards. They don't need to go right up in the air, Julie. And then exhale, bend the knees and just hug the knees down. So the heels stay close to the buttocks when you're moving the feet in. Head on the floor, inhale, straighten the legs, arms over your head. And then final time, hold for breath. Short inhale, very long exhale. The end of the exhale, concentrate on Uddiyana Bandha and Ashwini Mudra. Anal sphincter, lower abdomen, contraction. And then when you're ready, inhale, straighten the legs, arms over the head again. Now, Bhavan Muktasana, wind relieving posture. Leg heels on the floor. Exhale, bend the knees, hug the knees in, but this time, lift the chin towards the knees so the upper back rounds. It's not flat on the floor this time. And try to keep your shoulders down so you don't crunch your neck. And then inhale, straighten the legs, arms over the head, flip the palms. Stretch. Hands go to the floor, legs go to the floor. No, over your head, Sophie and Eva. And then same thing, feet on the floor. Bend the knees back and hug the knees in. Just stop a minute. When you go back to the floor, the arms go to the floor over your head and the feet go to the floor. That you're not hovering, okay? I mean, you can, but I prefer it if you didn't. And then inhale, bring the arms over the head. And exhale, bend both knees in, hug the knees as much as you can, and bring the nose towards the knees. Go right to the end of the breath, pause. As you inhale, shoot the legs forward, extend the arms over your head and interlock the fingers. Hands and feet touch the floor. Yes. Final time, exhale. Bend the knees, hug the knees, and bring the forehead to the knees or towards the knees as much as you can. You're going to stay there now. Short inhale. Long exhale. So if you can, get your arms around your legs, hold your elbows. Do it again. Short inhale. Very long exhale. Keep your head up now. Your forehead's towards your knees if you can. And then inhale, lower your head to the floor. Exhale, extend the legs and bring the arms over the head again. Good. And then exhale, bring the hands back beside your hips. Separate your feet, bring your arms away from your body, and little Shavasana. Gaze in the heart, switch off the jade. Watch the breath. And they're all postures, pelvic floor, and for the pelvic floor, the abdominal region, for the hips, for the reproductive organs. And when you bring the head up towards the knee, it's also called wind relieving postures. So very handy if you have wind. you want to get rid of. And feet together, bring the arms by the sides. Inhale, bring your arms over your head. Good. Exhale, bend both knees. Bring the feet close to the buttocks. And then on the inhale, bring the hands up over your face with the fingers interlocked and the palms pushing up towards the ceiling. Good, exhale there. Actually, let's do this with Langana Kriya. So normally when you come into a back bend, you do it on an inhale. That's Brahmana Kriya. When you come up on an exhale, it's called Langana Kriya. And in a really stable position like this, it can be interesting to experiment with that because it might make it easier for you. So we'll inhale there, push the hands to the ceiling, stretch out your shoulders, arms are straight. And then as you exhale, push into the feet and lift your hips up. Good. And when you get to the end of the movement, chest is moving towards the sternum, sternum is moving towards the chin, but you can also use your bandhas quite strongly, Mula Uddiyana Bandha at the end of that exhale. And then inhale, lower your hips down and bring the arms over your head. Good. And then as you exhale, lift the hands back to the arms back to the same position and lift the hips up together. Go to the end of the exhale, pause, Mula Uddiyana Bandha. Nudge your hips a bit higher. Inhale, come down. Arms over the head, seat to the floor. And then final time, exhale, come up. Find the bandhas and keep them. And then inhale, stay there. Open your chest more. Exhale. Keep the bandhas. And then inhale one more time. Open the chest, nudge your sacrum up. And as you exhale, come down, bring the arms over the head. Good. And then inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands beside the hips. Good. Close your eyes, look hard, take a breath. And then keeping the hands on the floor, you've got two options here. You can keep the hands flat on the floor with the palms down beside your hips, or you can lift the hips a little bit and interlock the hands under your back and really rock your shoulders under. And that can help you get the chest open. And when you go up and down, you just lower yourself up and down onto the forearms. You want the shoulders under the body and the shoulder blades down away from the ears. And do some Setu Bandhasana. And then lower your hips down onto your arms and exhale. And as you inhale, just simple, lift the hips up. Move the sternum towards the chin. We do it on the inhale this time. And exhale slowly down. So the inhale really fills the lungs. Inhale, come up. Stay there, exhale. Inhale, nudge the hips a bit higher, push the sacrum up. And exhale slowly down. When you do these type of back bends, it's really important to keep the upper and palate and soft palate relaxed so you don't create tension in your face. And then the next time you come up, inhale, lift the hips up, but also lift the right leg straight up. And one movement, legs really push out through the ball of the top foot. And then as you exhale, come down, hips to the floor and feet together. And then same again, inhale, lift up. Bring the left leg, no, don't change legs, same leg. Inhale, bring the left leg up. And exhale, come down. And do one more. Inhale, lift up, right leg up, push into the floor with the arms to the foot. And then we're going to stay there. And breath. And on the next inhale, you just nudge the hips again. A little bit of extra. And then exhale, come down, bring the foot to the floor. And then the other side, inhale, hips and left leg. Exhale down. Inhale up. Point the toes and stretch up. Point toes like a ballerina. Exhale down. Try and straighten your arms as much as you can, Rory. Like your arms are really straight under your back. Yeah, good. And then inhale, come up, and we're going to hold for a breath. Exhale there. Relax your face. Inhale, nudge the hips. And it's worth remembering that usually you hold this for at least 3 to 6 breaths. And then exhale, come down. So this is quite a short hold, but it really helps to build strength if you do it longer. And then we're just going to do one more variation. Inhale, lift the hips in the right leg again. And then as you exhale, bring the right foot into half lotus or bring the foot across the knee. Good. Good. And then inhale, straighten the leg, push the leg to the ceiling again, leg straight up. Exhale, hips down, feet together. Okay, and then we'll do that variation once more. Inhale, right leg up, hips up. Exhale, cross the knee with the ankle or half lotus. And the full posture here is to hold the half lotus foot with your right hand underneath the back of the body. You can do that if you can reach it. Good, and then holding that, exhale. And as you inhale, nudge your hips a little bit higher. And then exhale, release the hold. And inhale, stretch the right leg up. And exhale, lower the hips and bring the feet together. Those of you who can hold the foot, the more you get the shoulders under the back before you start, the easier it is to hold the foot. And then inhale, lift the hips and the left leg straight up. And exhale, half lotus or cross the leg. And when you do that, you want to work on bringing your left knee down as you push the hips up. It opens the hip ready for the lotus. And then not yet, inhale, straighten the leg. So this is the vinyasa to prepare. And exhale, bring the foot down and the hips down. Foot down, hips down, Ifa. And then second time you hold. Inhale, come up, stretch the leg to the ceiling. And exhale, choose your variation. No, your arms aren't quite long enough. That's good. And then on the inhale, push your hips a little bit higher. Not quite. And then exhale, inhale, exhale there. And then on the inhale, stretch the left leg up. And on the exhale, bring the feet together. And then on the inhale, bring your arms over your head. Keep the knees bent. And then on the exhale, bring the hands, sweep them round in a circle so they hover off the floor, and hold your ankles if you can. Or touch your heels or have your hands back on the floor. And if you can, hold your ankles. Then holding the ankles for half wheel or just hands on the floor is fine. Inhale, lift your hips up. We're nearly at the end of the sequence. I know it's quite long. And exhale, come down. And if you're more flexible, keep your knees and feet together. And that inner rotation of the femurs is what you're looking for here. Inhale, come up. Sternum towards the chin. Exhale, go down. And now you have the option of doing that and holding it for 3 breaths, or we'll move on to a variation of Urdhva Dhanurasana wheel, which many of you will be able to hold, and then those of you can come into full wheel. So just inhale and bring your hands up over your head, and then turn your fingertips towards your shoulders and slide your hands towards your shoulders, under your shoulders a bit if you can. And then look at your elbows and bring your elbows close together. Elbows aren't out like wings. Yeah? Good. And then exhale there. Just watch, Rory. And then as you inhale, lift the hips up. Good. Now just stay there. This is the first one. You can stay here and just push down into your hands and your feet so that you can feel the shoulders and the arms working and the hips working, and you can stay there and breathe. If you're comfortable there, press into the hands and the feet, lift up and come onto the top of your head. And you can stay there and take 3 breaths, full deep inhales. If you're comfortable there, straighten the arms and inhale, come up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. And hold for 3 breaths. With strong, long inhales and shorter exhales. Good. And then when you're ready, tuck the chin right in, lower down onto the back of your head. Hands too wide, Aoife. Yeah. Okay, that's better. And then just move your chest towards me and take a couple more breaths. Come down when you're ready. Well done. And then when you're ready, just we'll have a short relaxation in Shavasana. When you come down, Aoife, tuck your chin right into your chest and bend your elbows slowly and lower onto the back of your head. Yeah? Don't just drop down like that. You've got to come out with the control that you went in. Relax. Okay, so I'm going to skip a section now. There's some quite advanced back bends. I think we'll call that the back bending for today, and we'll move on to the leg raising sequence. Let's do a vinyasa. Om. Feet together, arms by your sides. Inhale, bend your knees. Hug your knees. Good. Cross your feet, cross your ankles and hold your feet. And you can rock backwards and forwards 3 times, or you can hold your knees and rock backwards and forwards 3 times. Exhale forward, inhale back. And then on the 4th time you come up, put your hands on the floor. A little hop or step, chaturanga. Hold the chaturanga. And inhale to up dog and hold the up dog. And exhale to down dog. And take a breath in down dog. Short inhale. Long exhale. Hold the breath out. Bend the knees. Look forward. Hop or step. Utkatasana. Good. Knees and feet together. Squat all the way down. And inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold over the legs. Really round your back here. Hands beside the feet. Flip the palms, inhale, push the hips back, strong arms and legs, come up slowly. And exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, bring the arms to shoulder level. Chin down, look navel. Exhale, Ardha Utkatasana, halfway. Keep the chest up, a little bit more weight in the heels. Inhale, straighten the legs. Keep the arms shoulder level, Sophie. Exhale, go down halfway. Good. Take a short inhale there. And exhale, squat all the way, Purna Utkatasana. Heels may rise, hands on the floor as if you're going to do Chaturanga, but separate your knees and sit down, Dandasana. Inhale, bring your arms over your head, flip your palms. Exhale, don't move. Inhale, come down to your back. Keep your chin in when you go down. Make the breath strong to control you as you go down. Exhale, hands behind the hips. Feet together. Inhale, bring the right arm over your head. Ujjayi breathing. Exhale, raise the right arm and the right leg. Push out for the ball of the foot this time. Stretch up through the foot and the toes. And inhale, lower. Exhale, raise. Slowly lift. Inhale, lower. Got to control the movement with the breath. And one thing you want to think about is when it's a movement, stop a minute, when it's a movement which involves where you're moving weight, like in a forward fold, or you're lowering the leg and the arm, the Ujjayi is stronger. Use the Ujjayi to control the speed of the movement. You don't just let the air out. The idea of controlling the breath in the throat is that by slowing down the breath, you control the movement. That's Vinyasa. Left arm over the head. One more. Inhale, raise the left arm. No, the right arm. We're on the right side. Right arm, right leg, sorry. Inhale, exhale rather, raise the right leg and the right arm. You got it. And just pause at the end and stretch up while pulling the lower back and the lower abdomen down. And then inhale, lower. Arm over the head, leg to the floor. Now just change legs. Inhale, come up. Still, right arm, now left, right arm, left leg. Good. Inhale, go down. And as you go down, really stretch across your body, especially through the lower back. Exhale, lift. Pause. Point everything to the ceiling. Point, stretch. Inhale, down. Keep stretching as you go down. Yes. And then hand beside the hip. Exhale. Inhale, don't move. Exhale, don't move. I can't remember. And then inhale, bring the left arm over your head. And exhale, left arm, left leg. Stretch up. Pull the lower back down. Inhale. Lower. Slowly, Rory. Use your breath. And then come up. Exhale. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Your arm is vertical. It's not close to your leg. It's just straight up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Pause. Inhale down. Change legs, just 2 vinyasas. Same arm, opposite leg. Almost the most important part of this vinyasa is stretching as you lower. And drawing your lower back down strongly when you're stretching up within the vertical position. And then when you're done, bring the left hand beside the hip. Look hard, take a breath. Inhale, both arms over the head. Exhale, raise both arms and both legs. If you have any back issues, you might want to bend the knees. And inhale, lower. Stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale, come up. Pause. And then inhale, lower halfway, arms and legs. Halfway, and you're nearly on the floor. And then exhale, come up. Inhale, lower halfway, switch the gaze down into Nabhi Navel, Mula Uddiyana Bandha, hold. Short inhale, strong exhale. And at the end of the exhale, increase the Mula Uddiyana Bandha. And then on the inhale, come up. Stretch up, and on the exhale, lower the arms over the head and the feet to the floor. Good, well done. Hands beside the hips, take a couple of breaths. Inhale, raise the right leg, take the big toe with the first two fingers. If you can reach it. If you can't, use a strap, or you can have the knee bent. And then we'll take a couple of breaths there. But if you've got to bend your knee too much, it's best to use a strap. And then you can, probably for you as well, Rory, put that strap over your foot. And then on the exhale, grip that nice and tight. Lower the leg out to the right side and put your left hand on the top of your left thigh. Inhale, center. And exhale to the right. Good. And then inhale, lift your head 1 millimeter off the floor. And exhale, turn your head and look to the left. Take 2 breaths there. Make the exhales long. Extend the left arm down the thigh and try and encourage the thigh to engage and ground. Ujjayi, please. And then inhale, come to center. Change hands. Take the big toe with the first 2 fingers of the left hand, or use your strap. And then on the exhale, bring the foot across the body. You can always bring the foot to the floor and nudge the hips a bit more to the right if you feel the need. Inhale, come up. And exhale, go down to the left. Bring your right arm out at shoulder level, actually, I forgot to say that. And then lift the head 1 millimeter off the floor and exhale, turn, look at your right hand. Just 2 breaths. Just try to work at squaring those shoulders into the mat as much as you can. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lower the leg and bring the arms to the sides. Another side, inhale, raise the left leg. Take the big toe or strap. Take a couple of breaths there, and you can work on just drawing the leg towards your left shoulder if you're comfortable. Hold the strap short, like as close to your foot as you can, with your leg straight. Wrap it around your hand like this. Yeah? Yes, you got a good grip. Yeah. Exhale to the side. You want a strong ujjayi as you go down. Then inhale up. Exhale to the side. Your right hand is on your right thigh and the arm is extending, not bent out to the side like a wing. Yeah, you're ahead of us, Kwan. So extend your arm down your thigh, Kwan, so it's on top of your thigh. Yes, that's it. Breathe, lift the head a little bit off the floor on an inhale, turn the head, look over your shoulder, right shoulder. So in these vinyasas, when you're doing the movements, your gaze is straight up. And then when you take the hold for however many breaths, you lift the head slightly on an inhale and turn it on an exhale. And so you have that sort of like smooth movement and freedom in the neck when you take the full pose. And then inhale, come to center, bring the head to center. And then change hands. You can move the hips a little bit to the left if you want, and then bring the leg over. You want your left arm at shoulder height now with the palm down. Press down to try and draw the left shoulder into the floor. Inhale, come up. And exhale, go down. And hold for 2 breaths. Lift the head a little bit on an inhale. Turn and look at your left hand on an exhale. Don't worry about putting your foot on someone else. They don't mind. Down. Yeah. To draw the, help that shoulder go down. And then inhale, come to center. Good. And exhale, release the leg. Slowly lower the leg and bring the arms to the sides. So one more vinyasa in the sequence. Inhale, bring both arms up. Shoulder level, sorry, just shoulder level on the floor. Like wings, yeah. Turn the right palm up, left palm down. Right palm up, left palm down. Inhale, raise both legs. Good. As you exhale, lower the feet into your right hand. Or if that's too much, bend the knees and bring the knees close to your right elbow. That's fine. Inhale, come to center. And you're still going the same way. Exhale again, lower both legs. If you can, bring the feet into your right hand. Good. Press the left palm down, the left shoulder down, if you can. And then inhale, lift your head a tiny bit off the floor. And exhale, turn your head and look at your left hand. The other hand, Sophie, yeah. Just bring your feet and your knees wherever you can. I mean, bring the feet into the hands is just a metaphor for some people. And then inhale, come back to center. And exhale, switch to hands. Turn the right palm down, the left palm up. And on the next exhale, lower the legs into the left hand or the knees towards the elbow. Inhale, come up. Normally you do this several more times, then you'd hold for a good 6 breaths, but we're just doing the sequence now. So exhale, go down, and we're just going to hold for 2 breaths. And you want to make those breaths count. On the inhale, lift your head a bit, and exhale, turn, look at your right hand. This is a twist that Grimley was talking about. It's saying it's one of the most useful and powerful twists. It's incredibly good for your lower back if you have any lower back issues. And you can do this with the knees bent. It's fine as well. It really opens up the back. Good if you've got sciatica. Chris, bring your left hand onto your knees. Yeah, and just use it to get that little yes. And then inhale, come back to center. Turn the head, face straight up. And on the exhale, lower the legs to the floor and bring the arms beside the body and take a little Shavasana. Switch off Ujjayi breathing and relax. Okay, and then bring your feet together and your arms by your sides. Inhale, bring your arms over your head. Stretch your whole body, bend your knees, hug your knees. And then just sit up. Okay, So we're just going to do, we've got 20 minutes to do some shoulder stand and variations. And who here normally uses a blanket for shoulder stand? Okay, let's do it without and see what happens. And then some of you, I'm going to suggest you use a blanket. Do you all know how, because we've done this a lot in the class, do you all know how to use a blanket in the correct way to support yourself in shoulder stand? No? No. Okay, that has answered my question. Let's do it first. Okay, this is kind of more important than doing a lot of vinyasas. Let's do the thing. Can I use your mat, Eva? Okay, so can I use that blanket? Okay, so I'm recommending, I mean, there's a few people in this class who don't need to use a blanket, but majority, several of you do. And it's a good thing to understand anyway. This is how you support your shoulders in a shoulder stand. Sit there, Eva, I don't want you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why would you use a blanket in shoulder stand? Why do you use support in a shoulder stand? The main purpose of using support in a shoulder stand is to decrease the angle in the neck between the top of the spine and the thoracic and the cervical spine. So that if you're just straight on the floor, that angle in the neck is going to be stronger. Yeah? When that angle at the neck is more acute, what you get is you get more pressure in the throat. And you can easily get a lot more tension in the throat, which then floods through into the face and the eyes, and you feel uncomfortable in a shoulder stand. It makes it more difficult to breathe until you are proficient. When you are proficient in shoulder stand, which I would say is like being comfortable for a minimum of 25 breaths, slow breaths, then you can really benefit from using support in shoulder stand. Because it decreases the angle in the neck, what it does is it gives you that little bit of space, more space to breathe. And it's also really beneficial if you have tightness in the shoulders and in the upper back and in the neck, which is a very common thing because that's where a lot of people hold stress. If you spend a lot of time sitting, you work a lot on a computer, etc., 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 you're going to have tension there. And then shoulder stand becomes more difficult. So Ramaswamy recommends this Supta Vinyasa sequence for shoulder stand, but also he recommends the Hasta Vinyasas. All these movements that we do with the arms, etc., crossing out, all those things help to release the shoulder girdle on the neck, which make shoulder stand easier. So if you're one of those people, then do a lot more Hasta Vinyasas, it will help. But the support of a blanket in shoulder stand can be one blanket, it can be two blankets, it can be one blanket with 4 blocks underneath it for a bit more height. The higher you go, the more unstable it gets, and the maximum you want to go is blocks with 1 blanket on top. If you get too high, it gets too wobbly. But it can really help to make you comfortable in a shoulder stand. And when you're really comfortable in a shoulder stand, you'll stay there for longer, you'll do it more often, and you'll enjoy it more. Because not enough people are doing enough shoulder stand. It's the Queen of Asanas. It's one of the most important things you can do in the practice, and one of the most beneficial things you can do in the practice. The inversions are the king and the queen of asana. Okay. What you do is you set up the blanket. This is how I do it. It's part of the vinyasa. So you inhale and you pick up the blanket. And you exhale and you put the blanket on the floor, down from the end. And you inhale and you fold the blanket over, mat over. Now you're in a position where your elbows are going to be on here, but your head's going to be on there. And that has the benefit of allowing you to slide the head away because it's not on a grippy surface. If it's on the mat, You can't push the head further away, which means that you can't tuck the chin down more. So having the head on a shiny surface is better than having your head on a mat. So even if you're doing it on the mat, even when I'm not using a blanket, I'll do this. I'll either do it with my head off the end, or I'll just fold my mat like that and I'll put my head there. Ideally, you don't want your head on the mat when you do your shoulder stand. So you inhale, you exhale, you inhale, you exhale, and then you have to measure. The measurement is the distance from the top of the index finger to the end of the thumb. And you put the index finger on the top of the mat and you measure the length of your thumb to your shoulders. And that will give you enough space to be able to lift into the shoulder stand without rolling off the mat. And you also don't want to be in a position like this, where the neck is pressing into the top of the support. You want the neck to be free. And eventually you get so you can do it, you just look down, you don't have to measure, you'll know exactly how to do it. So you measure, and then you just push into the floor, lift into the shoulder stand, and the shoulders are on the mat, and the neck is free. Any questions? So if you do it with the breath like that and get used to doing it, it's part of the vinyasa. It's not something where you stop and you kerfuffle around for 5 minutes, work it with your blanket and put it on the floor and then moving on. You want to do it in the seamless sort of transition of breath and movement, so you're in the shoulder stand within 4 to 5 breaths. Shall we do it? Do the process even if you're just going to fold your mat over. But that's not big enough, Lynn. It needs to be at least the width of your mat so your elbows don't fall off the side of it. And far enough down your mat so that when you fold your mat over, it completely covers the blanket. And the mat wants to be really nice and flat with no bumps in it. Okay. And then when you're ready, measure the distance between the top of your shoulders and the mat. Relax your hand, close your fist, that distance. Bring your hands over. And then when you're ready, come up into half shoulder stand. Torso 45 degrees, legs 45 degrees, knees bent, legs slightly apart. Ramaswamy says 3 minutes. Establish your breath here. Okay, so yeah, you're about the right distance. That's good. So that distance from the top of the mat is good. And then push into your hands and lift your feet up. Lift your hips up. Hips up. Put your hands on your back. Can you get up, get more vertical? No? Okay, stay there. Come down. Come over to the wall. Come to the wall, Rory. Stay there for 3 minutes. Establish Ujjayi breathing. Bring your mat with you. And then when you've got your Ujjayi breathing smooth, you can lift up into a straighter shoulder stand if you're comfortable and stay there for a couple of minutes. Okay, so I want you to do this. Don't need your blanket for this. Sit down, bring your hips close to the wall, and then swivel round and put your feet on the wall. Lay down and lift your hips up. Yeah, and breathe. That's it. Sit on the edge of the mat. Bring your hips to the wall. Perfect. Now swivel round and bring your legs up the wall. Just spin round. That's it. Get a nice straight line to the wall with your spine, so you're not at an angle. At the moment, you're crooked. Get straight to the wall. There. Bend the knees, feet on the wall. Inhale, lift your hips up. That's the one. You okay there? Stay there and breathe. Come down when you need to. Okay, after a minute or so in the standing posture, those who are comfortable can continue with vinyasas. So we'll do some apanasanas. If you need to come down at any point, feel free. Exhale, bend the right knee towards the right temple, stretch the left leg up. Inhale, come up. Try to keep the bent knee heel close to your buttock. Exhale, left knee down. Heel close to the buttock. Knee, if you can, touches the temple. Inhale, come up. And right side again. Exhale, bend the knee. Keep the face relaxed. Upper palate, soft palate. Inhale up. Exhale, change. Smooth Ujjayi, completely relaxed face. Inhale up. Take a breath, exhale there. Inhale, if you can, get your elbows a little bit closer, your hands a bit more towards your shoulder blades. Right, so you're getting a bit more vertical as you go through. And then on the next exhale, bend both knees towards your forehead. Keep the heels close to the buttocks. Empty the lungs completely, pause. Inhale, come up. Push the head and the shoulders down, lift out through the feet. Exhale, bend both knees. Good. I'm going to stay there for a breath. Short inhale. Long exhale. Go right to the end of the breath. And bandhas at the end of the breath. And then on the inhale, come up. Good. And then same pattern as we did before. Exhale, if you can, bring the right foot into half lotus or across the knee. And then inhale there. And optional, as you exhale, bring the left leg towards the floor. Strong Ujjayi, keep control. And inhale, come up. Extend the leg to the ceiling. Right leg. Exhale, bend the left knee, half lotus, or the foot across the thigh. Open the knee as much as you can. Inhale there. Exhale, lower the right leg towards the floor. You don't need to go all the way down. Keep control. On the inhale, slowly come up. Straighten the leg. Optional. Exhale, bring the legs, both legs into full lotus. Or bring the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana and bring the knees wide. Good. And then inhale there. If you're in full lotus, keep the lotus vertical to start with. And then on the exhale, either bring the Baddha Konasana feet towards your head or lower the lotus legs towards your face. Good. Keep your hands on your back. And then inhale, come up. Keep the feet as they are. Keep the knees wide if you're in Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. Cobbler pose. And then exhale, come down again. Good. Going to take one breath there. Short inhale. Long exhale. Keep the knees really wide, Lynn, like in cobbler pose. And at the end, you can just pause for the bandhas for a second. And then inhale, come up. Unlock your feet and stretch the legs straight to the ceiling. Good. And then exhale, come down into plow, full plow. Feet to the floor or knees to the forehead if they don't come to the floor. Keep your hands on the back if the feet aren't on the floor. And then inhale if the feet are on the floor and reach over and hold your big toes. Good. Like you're in Paschimottanasana forward bend, because you are in Paschimottanasana forward bend, you're just the other way up. And then inhale, first thing to do is push your hips towards the ceiling. And then keeping hold of the toes like you were doing a seated forward bend, drop your hips gently away from your hands, keeping your feet on the floor. Keep your feet on the floor, holding your toes, and drop your hips away so your legs come towards your face as much as you can. And then if you're comfortable there, lower the hips this way. Yeah, like so you're deepening the forward bend. Yeah? And then if you're comfortable in that deeper forward bend, lift the head off the floor and bury the leg between the legs. Lift the head up between the legs. Hold the feet like you've got the big toes in a forward bend. It's like Paschimottanasana upside down. Good. And then release the hands and bring them on the outside of your legs and interlock your fingers and push the hands to the ceiling. Or if you know you're going to find this a struggle, you can have the palms facing down. And then inhale. And as you exhale, slowly thread your legs through your arms as you go down. Thread the needle. Good. And then exhale, bring the hands beside your waist. Okay. So that was one vinyasa. There's 5 more sequences to go. But unfortunately, we're running out of time. So bring the hands to the floor slowly, roll your spine down, and we'll do one of the suggested pranic kriyas. You can bring your mat into the room now, Rory, and just lay down on the front of your body, turn onto the front of the body. And we'll do Makrasana, crocodile. Bring the forearms onto the floor. Elbows in, forehead on the floor. Ground the toenails and the pubic bone. You okay, Lynn? Cramp. Yeah, long shoulder stand. Elbows in, Aoife. And then on the inhale, lift up, head, chest. Pull on the forearms, lengthen your spine, round your pelvis. Exhale, go down. Bring your elbows back a bit more, Charlotte. Yeah. Inhale, come up, and move your shoulder blades back and down. Yeah. So you're not so high, that's better. And exhale, come down. So it's like a bit too much. Go sort of halfway between. So you can still get a bit of height, but more length at the same time. Elbows in. And bring your shoulders away from your ears. And inhale, come up. Keep them this way. Now come up. Try and come up without letting your shoulders hunch. Right, and then just stay there for a breath. Head back. It's reverse Jalandhara. Like compression in the back of the neck. And then come down, roll onto your back and relax in Shavasana. You turn the lights off, Joe, please. Bring your feet wider than your hips and your arms away from your sides. Turn your palms up and relax. Feel the knees. You can roll your head a little bit side to side. Come back to center, tuck your chin down. Let go of breathing, let your body breathe. Relax all the large joints in your body, your ankles, Ankle joints relaxed. Knee joints relaxed. Relax the hips, shoulders, elbows, and wrists. Let your limbs go heavy. Relax the small joints in the body, all the joints in the feet, joints in the spine, spinal muscles. Relax the joints in the hand, the joints in the neck. Relax the hinge of your jaw. Relax all the big muscles, all the muscles in the legs, the back muscles, the biceps. Relax the small muscles in the feet, the muscles along your spine, muscles in the hands, and all the muscles in the face. Relax the muscles around your eyes. Relax the muscles around your heart. Relax your lungs. Meditate on your natural breath and completely relax. Oh, pardon me. Oh, deepen your breath. Bring your feet together and your arms by your sides. Inhale, stretch your arms over your head. Get long. Bend the knees, hug the knees. Bring the forehead up towards the knees and just release your back. Release your neck. And then make your way to seated pose. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. Sit on a block or a cushion so you can be comfortable. Inhale deeply for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Bolo Sadhguru Bhagavan ki jai. Remind yourself the intention made for your practice. Om Namah Shivaya. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone.